It is great to be with my friends at the US Study Centre as we celebrate the 70th anniversary of the ANZUS Alliance. 70 years ago today, after some amazing work by Sir Percy Spender, in the harbour city of San Francisco, with the Golden Gate before them and the blue Pacific beyond, an earlier generation of Australians and Americans pledged themselves to one another. Sir Robert Menzies, our Prime Minister at the time, said, "Our peoples are warmed by the same inner fires." It is true to this day. And so it seems appropriate, I think, that we acknowledge this anniversary in the great harbour city, my home city of Sydney, the home of Fleet Based East, our own great bridge, of course, the Sydney Opera House, that will light up honouring that wonderful friendship between our two peoples. And I thank Premier Berejiklian and the US Study Centre and the Australian American Federation for making this possible. The Alliance is the bedrock of Australia's security, and it has been that way under 14 presidents and 14 Prime Ministers. I understand that tonight we are being joined by the Honourable John Howard and the Honourable Julia Gillard. They know, as any Prime Minister does, and they can testify that the Alliance is part of a shared national endeavour, essential to our interests and security, and I want to acknowledge their great contribution to that alliance during their Prime Ministerships. President Johnson once said that Australia and the United States would stand together in sunshine and in sorrow. And we've seen that through our long friendship. For more than a century, we've fought and stood side by side in every major conflict, from the Western Front to the Middle East, from the waters of the Coral Sea to the snows of Korea. We've seen it very recently in the tragic events in Kabul. And I want to honour again the 13 American soldiers killed last week and our Afghan friends and mourn their terrible loss. This was an evil attack on the innocent and the brave. Troops murdered as they provided a path, protected a path to freedom for so many others. On this occasion, we honour all who have served under our flags and call to mind those who especially made the ultimate sacrifice under those flags. 20 years ago, this month, after the events of 9/11, Prime Minister John Howard invoked the ANZUS Treaty for the first and only time, declaring, "If our debt to the United States in the darkest days of World War II means anything, if the comradeship, the friendship and the common bonds of democracy and a belief in liberty and fraternity and justice mean anything, it means that the ANZUS Treaty now applies." Well said, John. 20 years on, our common values are undimmed. In a time of great strategic uncertainty, our alliance is stronger and more valuable than ever. The global COVID-19 pandemic continues to rage with tragic consequences for millions. At the same time, we confront our most challenging strategic environment in our region in decades. The alliance is a choice we make about how best to pursue our security interests. And in a world after a pandemic, we seek an Indo-Pacific together that's free of coercion, that's open, that's stable, that's secure and prosperous, not just for ourselves, but our friends and our neighbours who also value their sovereignty and their freedom. It's true, friends, we have many challenges ahead together. But on this anniversary, let us pause. But also let us mark and celebrate what we've achieved. Let us importantly honour the sacrifices that so many have made and that we have shared. And let us rededicate ourselves to being that shining city on a hill that we both seek. It is a great privilege to join in marking this 70th anniversary. We may look to the United States, but we never leave it to the United States. And that's what ANZUS is all about. Sharing that burden together, sharing that vision together, sharing that hope and support for a world that favours freedom. Thank you to our great friends in the United States. We continue the journey together, and good night.